And
Good evening or good afternoon. How are we doing, guys? My name's Sanjay, your local property agent, one of the Avocado property partners, and I am here with Ian Macbeth. How you doing, Ian?
I'm very good. Monday. It's been a busy day. It seems like a busy day for all of the partners, but yeah, it's
Crazy.
been busy at HQ. So
Yeah,
yeah, busy week. Good.
definitely. So we are here to talk about a few topics, a few hot topics at the moment. Two of them pretty much I have conversations with every single buyer, every single seller. It's definitely something that's uncertain in the market. So let's dig straight in, shall we? Ian, let's talk about the 10% deposits, mortgages that are coming out. And there's been more and more being coming out over the last, well, I've been speaking to my mortgage advisor, and there's more and more products coming available. So how is this going to impact the market now and into 2021, early next year, whether it be first-time buyers? But yeah, give us your view on this.
This is vital. This is huge because we've been talking about the property market since the start of lockdown and updating people on things that have happened. And the 10% deposit mortgages have been a big part of what we've been discussing. And there was obviously 4 or 5 lenders available at the start of the year, even through lockdown they were there. And then they just started retracting. And then we were down to HSBC. There was pandemonium around that. And then they were pretty much all gone. And then in the last sort of month or so, Nationwide came back in with a first-time buyer only product. That was kind of the only one available. Just quickly on forecasting the market, this is really important for people to listen to, because the difference of having these strong banks available to get mortgages at 90% loan to values is more important than what the media bark on about at any one time. And there's a bit of a myth that the media impacts the momentum of the property market, and they don't. It is the banks and it is the lenders that typically have the biggest momentum shift, good or bad. And the return in the last kind of 7 or 8 days of key lenders like Virgin Money, Halifax, Barclays, NatWest, Nationwide, Accord, if you're struggling in a few different financial criteria areas, are available as well. These are big names. There's only really 2 or 3 left to go, maybe kind of Santander, HSBC to bring a decent one back in. What this means is, if there are tenants out there that are currently renting that couldn't afford to get a deposit at 15, at 20%, they're now back in the game. They're back in the market. Yeah. So where there's been a big kind of backlog of tenants staying in and nothing coming to the market for the rental market, you might see in the new year, all of a sudden, these tenants can now buy and they become first-time buyers. So you get more buyers in the active market in the sub 350, 400 price bands, and you also get more properties available to rent. So it's kind of a kick on at the bottom end. What happened with the stamp duty holiday, it actually was a bit of a shot in the foot for first-time buyers, because they were competing with first-time sellers with bigger equities. So all of a sudden, they weren't massively impacted by the stamp duty holiday, and they were in a battle. So we saw the split in the property market of sub 350, 400K, and that's in turn really resulted in properties at the kind of 400 and less price range being really competitive. This is going to give an extra launch of new buyers, first-time buyers out there, people at home with parents, people in rented accommodation. All of these 10% deposit mortgages within the last 8 or 9 days, these have all flooded back, are a massive positive sign for the lower end of the property market going into next year, which is probably why we're seeing good levels of activity with viewings still at that price range. You're probably 100%. Saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of properties listed sort of for the first-time buyer market, and it has been difficult the last few months because the lenders just haven't been there. They just haven't been there, and I've seen just a massive. And obviously, without the first-time buyers at the bottom of the market, there's it's like a ripple effect, right? Without first-time buyers at the bottom, there's nothing else to help progress the rest of the mid-market and the higher market. So important. I think it's so positive, and I'm glad that we are seeing more lenders come in, because it's going to make a massive difference. And I'm hoping, come January, February, March next year, we'll start to see an influx of it. So all good.
I think flats as well. I think it's important for the apartments, because one of the things that's been quite difficult after lockdown for a lot of vendors that live in apartments is actually moving apartments on. And especially people that have bought in the last 2 years that used Help to Buy, they bought a premium with Help to Buy because it was a way that they could buy with a 5% deposit.
Yeah.
And the premium they bought at, the property market hasn't moved on that amount of money. So a lot of people have lost the money that they actually put into it. But if first-time buyers come back to the market with these 90% loan to values, then all of a sudden the apartments become great options for the tenants living in apartments. Because why would I rent that apartment if I could buy it and it's £300, £400, £500 a month less than what I'm renting, paying someone else's mortgage? I could buy it and own it.
Yeah.
And I think we've never seen a bigger gap than apartments and houses. And, you know, if you look at a two-bed, two-bath modern apartment, it's bigger than a two-bed house that was built 20 years ago. But there's never been a bigger gap in price range. So it'd be interesting to see if that has a big kick on for the apartments as well.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. And the next point, this is such a big one, because I think every single buyer, every single seller, I'm having these conversations with, like, over and over and over again, even with the same people, because there's so much uncertainty of it. And that is the stamp duty holiday. The stamp duty holiday, if you didn't know, is due to end on the 31st of March 2021. And that's well, official government, that's what they're saying at the moment. Now, if that changes, we don't know. I've recently signed a petition to see if we can get that extended, and I've had a response recently. But Ian, I just wanted to get your views on what do you think is going to happen? Like, obviously, there might be people in transactions that might go under offer in January. Chains are closed, legals have started. Will they have to pay if they don't complete by the end of March?
Well, I think first and foremost, no one expected it to bring the buzz that it's brought.
No.
And you can see with the statistics, you know, Zoopla are great at bringing stats in at the end of each month. And we're double the predicted amount of properties under offer. In fact, I think they said in October, there was about 240% of the amount of cases under offer, property transactions that were sold and not completed, compared to the same time last year. So there's a huge backlog of properties waiting to complete. And I keep saying it's great news for people in the trades, you know, people that maybe had 6 months, 5 months where they couldn't work, whether it's roofers, plumbers, kitchen fitters, plasterers, decorators, brickies. All of these different trades are going to see a massive onslaught of completions in the new year, which is going to result in a really strong year for them next year. So, you know, take positivity from that if you're in the trades. But what it also means is solicitors, mortgage lenders, councils requesting searches, or searches being requested from councils, they are really under the cosh at the moment. And if you're not using quality mortgage advisors and solicitors, you could end up losing thousands of pounds, even if you've already got an offer secured as a buyer. If you find something over Christmas and January, you could get it through, but you need to be in a position of having good quality assistance from brokers and from solicitors. And so, to answer your question, will it be extended? I don't think it will be extended in full. I know there's a lot of estate agents out there that are banking on it, and a lot of people are saying, oh, of course it'll be extended because people aren't going to make it. Well, we've known about the deadline for months. So you can't just go, well, I won't make it. Well, then you might not make the next one and the next one and the next one. At some point it has to stop. So I think from what you sent through from that petition, I mean, that was a clear, defined statement that they won't be extending it directly from the government.
100%, yeah. So just in response to that petition to extend the stamp duty holiday for an additional 6 months after the 31st of March, this was the government's response. I won't read it all out, but basically the government does not plan to extend this temporary relief. Now, they will have other schemes like the Help to Buy. They're going to extend things like that. Obviously, nothing's confirmed yet, but you know, I'm saying to all of my vendors and all buyers, assume it's not being extended after March. You know, don't bank on it being confirmed until we get the nod, until we get the official announcement. Then you can't really say anything, can you? I mean, for people that are, I know you touched on it a moment ago, but for people that are looking to put the house on the market now or in the new year and try and complete before the end of March, and that's their mindset going into that, what would you say to them at the moment?
I would say, very simply, go on at the price which the property is worth. Don't go over market value and try and negotiate. Go on at the price that the property is worth. And if it's worth 360, go on at 350. You know, get it sold, get a buzz, and maybe get 355, maybe get 360. But we're seeing if you price correctly, you can get over, but you've got to price correctly. I would also try and plan around, if you can, break in the chain. So if you're doing it with a principle of selling primary first, break the chain. If you're doing it with a view of trying to buy a property and save on the stamp duty, you need to find something that hasn't got a chain or is a new build potentially. That will have a big impact. And if you're going on over Christmas, you've got to get your marketing on point. And this sounds like a plug. I'm not trying to be a plug because we just want to add value here, but you need to be on with an agent that's open over Christmas and New Year as well, because it's always publicized for Rightmove. The biggest amount of traffic happens between Boxing Day and New Year's, and most estate agents are going to close on the 23rd. And all of that traffic, all of those inquiries will be lost. Obviously, all of us lot will be open, we'll be available. We're on WhatsApp, we're on email, we're going to be checking our phones. We'll be doing appointments between Christmas and New Year. But if you want to get that transaction done, I actually bought a property on the 27th of December, my last property 7 years ago. Saw it, it went live on Boxing Day. Bang, we were in there on 27th, and the deal was secured on the 29th. So it happens. But if you're on with an agent that is closed over Christmas and New Year, well, obviously you're not going to sell.
I mean, that's just straight facts as well. Like, right, we put that report out. They're constantly hammering that at the moment, that is their busiest time for traffic, online traffic, from Boxing Day onwards, or that last week of the year, basically. So it's so important. So important.
The marketing's vital. So on your point, if you're on the market already now and you're hoping to try and secure a buyer, then the marketing is vital. Because if I flick through Rightmove still, just take Bracknell or Warfield as a prime example, you can see a lot of photos on there where they're not seasonal photos. You really want to get your seasonal photos in. And if you're looking to go on the market now, I listed a property on Saturday morning, and she was kind of worried about the Christmas decorations, but I'm not worried about those because it's
that's good.
So it shows it's a new instruction. So keep the Christmas decorations up. If the tree takes up the whole living room, we might have to move it around a little bit, but keep them up. But what's key, and I said to her, my commitment is the second your Christmas decorations come down, I'm back out there to do it all again.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to do that, because you don't want Christmas decorations on your website, on Rightmove, on property videos, and obviously on photography when it's not Christmas if you've not got a buyer. So the marketing is vital, the agent's vital, and your pricing is vital. And you've got a plan for not accounting for stamp duty. See it as a bonus. Plan your finances around not achieving the stamp duty holiday. If they do an extension or a step or a version of, or a slight twist around with how they do it, brilliant. But plan for worst case scenario, so you're not disappointed. Or if you get to the 30th, it's not going to happen, and you think, right, I needed that $7,000 or that $8,000, and you got to pull out. Well, everyone's emotions are blown to bits, so just don't do that. Plan for worst case scenario. I think it will help. Yeah,
definitely. And also there's been a lot of, I'm speaking to some vendors, they're happy to break their chain, so they will move out, they'll get their property sold, and then realize that they're going to be in a lot better position with a nothing to sell buyer. As a nothing to sell buyer, right? So when it comes March, April, when the market potentially does pick up, or things might change, they're going to be in the best position, being nothing to sell. So, and that's ideally what you want, because after that, people are still going to be wanting, quick exchanges, quick move-ins and stuff like that. So yeah, I just think that's super important.
I said to a vendor as well the other day of ours that's he's selling around the sort of 350 mark, and he's looking to buy it just over $500,000. And the plan was, if he could save the money on the stamp duty, great. But there is a case that the premium prices that have been achieved over the last 6 months for stock between 450 and 650, because they're saving in their deposit 15 grand, which might mean if they're getting a 25% deposit mortgage, 15 grand might be an extra 60K they can afford to buy all of a sudden. It's not just the saving, it's what it actually gives you in your deposit. And I said to him, there is an opportunity that 6-9 months down the line, the prices of what people were getting at 500, 600, they're not quite as high as what they are now, because that premium stamp duty holiday kind of threshold is lost, and therefore they level back out. And there is an opportunity that if you do exactly what you said, which is break the chain, not panic, wait for the right property, wait for a few more of them to come back on the market, you might actually find that the 565 house down the road, you can now pick up for 540. Yeah, you saved 25 grand in equity, but you've got a win in reality. So it's all about scales. The property market always is. The one thing I would say is stay away from the media and the negative kind of media chats, because media becomes old news very quickly. And typically the way they do their forecasting, I'll let people into a little bit of an insight in it, because I've always been a bit of a stickler for the media and their negative press. The way they do it is they take a 1 month snapshot of a negative statistic. That 1 month snapshot they times by 12 and turn it into an annual forecast, which no months work the same, but this is how the media typically give next year's forecast is X. Well, they've just taken a 1 month stat and they times it by 12. So it's almost a scaremongering. It's a headline. It's nonsense, really.
Yeah, especially when the market's moving this quickly at the moment. Like every month is different, every transaction is different, so you can't really judge it on that, and it's not fair rights to the market. So, and actually, what's going on? Yeah. I just got one more question. Come January, let's say we're at the end of January. For those vendors and sellers that are on the market and they're still umming and ahhing whether they're for sale, they're still umming and ahhing whether they're going to get a buyer or move before the stamp duty, what would you advise them? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to get outsider information. And what I mean by that is people that are not influenced by their sale financially, talk to them. So if they're on the market with an agent, talk to a different agent. Doesn't have to be us, could be anyone. Talk to a different estate agent. Don't talk to their mortgage advisor. Talk to a different mortgage advisor. Just get outsider information. Don't talk to general people that aren't working in the industry, because I know everyone's got a property market opinion, but the guy down the road that's kind of walking his dog might not know the facts. They've got an opinion. It's great to listen to, but it might not be the right piece of advice. But talk to people that are in the industry and get that third party opinion that's not dependent on your transaction effectively. In terms of your house, we say the 10% move out rule, that's going to help with viewings. I would demand with your estate agent that you have the most senior people doing the viewings. Don't accept weekend viewers as viewers, because you might have done everything to get that one viewing with that right person, and if you've got someone coming through the door that doesn't know anything about your property, that experience is lost. So make sure you've got the most experienced person doing the viewing, and make sure you've got your strategy of your finances planned out, your budgeting planned out, 100%. And just make sure that the marketing is on point. Don't have too many photos of your house. Everyone wants to have as many photos as possible. Don't limit it. Have enough that it's a good snapshot into the property, and then let the floor plan do the work and let the viewing do the work. And that's the advice that I would give. Third party advice, get the marketing on point, 10% move out rule. So clear out a lot of the clutter, get your Christmas stuff out ASAP. Christmas is tough after that, especially if you've got a garage. It's just full of everything. The lounge is full of everything. There's toys everywhere if you've got kids. Get all the Christmas stuff put away and sorted. Get back to normal as quickly as possible after Christmas, and make sure you're on with an agent that's going to do right by you, give you good quality advice. That's a real key part of it. And the same with a mortgage advisor. Make sure your mortgage advisor is keeping you updated. If you're looking to get a mortgage at the moment, you're on the market or you're a buyer, and your mortgage advisor hasn't told you the changes to what's going on with rates, then you've got to question whether they're giving you the best advice. So just have a good team around you in reality.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just on that last note, mortgage advisor. I think even you should have a mortgage advisor. You should speak to a mortgage advisor before you put your property on the market. If you're looking to buy onwards, do that, because it's all good and well you selling at a certain price and thinking you can buy up to a certain price, but get your finances in place, get them covered, so for peace of mind exactly what you're going to do moving onwards. It's so important, especially in this market. I can't really stress that enough.
No, definitely have a good team around you. Don't get recommended by your mortgage advisor. Don't get recommended some conveyancing panelled solicitor that's out there that you've never heard of, that's not local, just because they make a markup on it. Don't get recommended by some random conveyancing company in the Midlands because your estate agent's going to make 300, 400, 500 pounds out of it. Use local quality businesses.
I know you feel strongly about this topic, but quite rightly.
Because it will cost people millions. Having the wrong conveyancer, having the wrong solicitor in your transaction now, even if you're sold right now, having the wrong conveyancer is going to cost the UK public millions, just because of their tick box approach to how they operate. It's fine in a normal market because you can spend an extra couple of months waiting, but you're on a deadline now, and on a deadline you need your power team backing you. You need your solicitor, being your superhero. And if they're not, and they're difficult to get hold of, and you can't reach them, then it's going to cost you a few £1,000s when it comes to the stamp duty holiday. So I feel passionate about it for the public, because people get the wool pulled over their eyes for it. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But
I mean, can you to the general public, can you WhatsApp your solicitor? If you can WhatsApp your solicitor, I think you're onto a winner there in terms of communication. I've got one that's going through at the moment, and I'm WhatsApping her. It's great. So it's a lot more easier for the communication. Cool. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, nice to be on the other side of the mic. Thanks for having me on, Sanjay. It's been a good chat. And if anyone's got questions about anything that we've covered, what's going on with the lenders, what's going on in the rental market, if you're a landlord and you're thinking, right, maybe my tenant's going to move out because they were looking at getting a mortgage before, now the deposits are back, maybe I need to find another agent to market with. If you're thinking of selling, if you're on the market with someone at the moment and you're frustrated and you think, yeah, my estate agent's going to close on the 23rd, just get in contact with us or a local independent estate agent, and we'll help, basically. So no, it's been good to chat. Hopefully it's helped a lot of people, and we are available. Hit us in the DMs, comments, like, share, obviously send the post everywhere. And we'd much appreciate it for everyone that's watched, really.
Appreciate that. All right, Ian, thanks for that.
I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Take care.
Love your living room. Bye.
Bye.